see your meter from the generator.
How far from the building does you think has to be set?
25 feet.
25 foot from the building?
Yeah, yours is setting, you know where the electric panel is inside?
Yes, sir.
Out in the yard, 25 feet.
Okay.
Or 20 feet, I'm sorry, the generator has to be 20 feet. But you'll go right underground, right in there. They already, there's a flat ground installation.
Oh, yeah.
But like Smithburg's, we gotta get in behind the building, and then we'll have to figure out how to get that unit behind the building.
Well,
I think there's room back here, we walked it, I think we're all right there.
Ours is no problem then.
Yeah, but McClellan's we gotta raise up in the air,
Yeah, oh,
Banks's
yeah.
we gotta raise up in the air, and each one of them's different, you know,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Smith Community's not a problem, Oxford Grange is not a problem, but they've both got over 60 amp services. Now,
Oh, my God.
one of them's gonna have to be changed, I don't know about, we can't see the other one, it's just a little hole that the meter sticks in, so we don't know what's behind it. But they, like, contractor said he'd take care of all that, he's visited all the sites, and I did 5 trips to the site, so, I mean, you know, I got pictures of all of them and everything, we did a lot of trips. I think that this is probably one of the biggest steps the county commission's made in a long time toward emergency services and
Very well needed.
yeah, not excluding.
And very appreciated.
We started out in years past, many years ago, I started out with the idea of generating a lot of places like that. Went down and talked to senior citizens, they got on board with me and they got a grant, the health department got a grant, the water plant has a grant, the sewer plant got a grant. The water plant doesn't have one. We never got that one through. So, but there's a lot of places around that existing. The emergency squad had one. We got in on a FEMA grant. But you know, there's a lot of them that are already generated. So if you look at the list, when you figure out a county the size of Dodge's got 16 potential places, only 3 of them aren't generated or won't be generated. That's real good. So, questions?
We won't have to use them.
Somebody said, well, where are they going to be put in? And I said, about 1 week after the next power outage.
Pat, was your estimate to purchase and install the propane tank between $2,500 and $3,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
In that neighborhood.
25,000, she said 2,500.
2,500 for the propane tank.
Oh, for the tank.
For the tank and the line and the
Okay.
installation. They said they couldn't give me an exact price. They said the tank would be around $1,500 and then fill it with propane, the way I understood it. So that would take it up into 2,000 range, and they said it'd just be per foot on the gas line, and I estimated 100 feet.
So 2,500 to 3,000, purchase tank, install it, plus the initial fill up.
Yeah. And they have some kind of a deal going on. Everybody had a deal, so. Such a deal. One guy wanted Cindy Salesman right out talking to me. I said, no, let's not play this. Any questions? If not, I'll not keep you any longer.
Good job, Pat. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
With the president and the board's permission, I will call Air Gas and the other companies on propane. And by the next meeting, have you guys a price on what it would cost to have a tank set and run. And with the board's permission also, I'd like to go ahead and get it set up to where we could use the propane furnace that's in the attic. That works great. We used it when we built the building inside. But since they went to electric baseboard, we have the tank rented and we sent the tank back. We have the regulator that goes on it and so forth that we can plumb into the line. But I would also like to have that price to estimate the tap in for the propane furnace so that they could use that for an alternate heat source. Because we have electric baseboards.
So Randy, what are you heating with now?
Electric baseboard, yes. Yes. It works. On some real cold mornings, it's kind of frosty, but I mean.
It's costly.
Yeah, yes, it is costly.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cheaper to run the propane?
It would be cheaper to run the propane. That's what I'm saying. If we could do that, that would be awesome. And we have to get a bigger tank, of course, because then you run your furnace off of it along with the generator, so.
I think your 1,000 gallon would be adequate as a tank size.
Just keep it above 30%.
Yeah, just keep it above 30% and you're all right.
Okay.
Like last summer was a real anomaly in the fact that we didn't have telephone systems. That was the hurting thing. I mean, you know, we couldn't contact anybody to do anything. That hurt everybody. I mean, you know, not only.
Communication's always the issue.
Yeah, but you know, I tell this out, but I was in a meeting and I had a woman tell me one time, she said, we had a generator and I had my husband hook my Facebook up before we hooked our water well up because she said, I want to get on that computer. you know, I think it's priorities too, a little bit. And she was dead serious, I should sit there, I said, all right, ma'am. But, when you think about the loss of the
You
telephone.
think that's odd?
Yeah,
I agree with you, Fred.
but anyway, they, you know, it depends on whether you want your kids up on the news or dirty, I guess. But you think about the loss of the telephones last year was the biggest, communications was one of the biggest problems we had,
And fuel.
and fuel. But we were very fortunate because the three-phase line that goes down through here can back up 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You guys got power back, and we had access to fuel. I don't know how many people came through and wanted ice and water and gas, and we had it all. They came clear from the high river up here to get it. So,
And the way they're cutting the power lines, we need generators,
I had to
Yeah.
take generator.
because they're just skimping.
Shower.
well,
Right
that's all
about
Jenny
that.
Day, I
Yeah.
guess, for most of it. We've been there, for 3 hours, just getting.
Gas company is gonna
Now,
take
are
care
we
of it.
locked into these supply sources for the gas?
No, that's just two, the two that were recommended to me, I went
So we
to,
can call anyone.
Because Southern States in Clarksburg
Yes.
has provided propane for years, and in checking with them, they were usually always the cheapest. And a lot of times, if you bought your fuel off of them, they provided you the tank at no charge.
I
Now, I
went,
don't know if that's still the case, but something to look at.
I went to Hall's initially because they were local. Hall said they didn't fill anything but a 200-gallon tank. That's the worst thing they could fill. They didn't have a truck to service a residential tank. They recommended give me these two numbers as the residential suppliers, which we would fall under residential/commercial. So I talked to both of them today and just kind of ballparked the prices from each one of those, just so I'd have an idea of what we were talking about. And I want to talk a little bit of knowledge tonight on this. I'm sure there's other sources, and the big thing is availability of delivery. Like the lady out of Belpre said, they have a 24-hour emergency hotline where you can call in and you can get it any day of the week, anytime. And usually it takes 24 hours to get it out. The lady or the gentleman I talked to at Air Gas in Clarksburg told me pretty much the same thing. He said, we've added into your contract. It's kind of like a maintenance fee. So, I mean, if you check on that, I'd be sure to let them know you're an emergency organization, and it may be a, you know, but like the lady or the gentleman at Air Gas recommended a 30% call. When you get a 30% call, then that gives you, you know, a good bit of your tank there to live on.
You're saying by 30%, you don't let it go below 700 gallons.
Right. No, you don't let it go below 300 gallons.
Looks like if you're going down to 300 gallon and you're figuring 1,000 gallon and running for 10 days, you're not gonna have 10 days if you let it run down to
No,
300
if you
gallon.
let it, you have 3 days, and they get there in 3 days.
Oh, you're
You understand what I'm saying?
assuming that they'll be
Yeah,
able to
assuming they'll come out.
transport the gas.
But both of them said that they have for essential need facilities. The one lady called and said, essential need facilities, they have contracts where they have to service those by law. And you have to do that. The price, said it costs me more. She said, no, I don't think so. She said it costs us more because we have to pay our drivers for holidays, weekends. But if you call, if you get your tank gets down 30%, you call then, and you know, you're calling on Christmas Eve, they know that they can make it on the day after Christmas and still have enough propane to get there. And she said a generator, the primary source of power is a generator, so that even knocks you up higher on the scale. And I didn't realize this, but she said out west, a lot of people run propane for their generators, and they run generators 24/7, 365. I never thought about it, but I guess they do out in these wide open spaces where there's no gas lines and electric lines and stuff.
We can call Southern States and get a phone book and get
Well,
3 or 4
I would
different.
recommend shopping around, get the best deal you can. I don't care what's in that, into that 2-inch line when you get it here, but you know, when the generator has to hook up, I mean,
I know who to get a hold of at Southern States. Randy, and the lady that takes care of her name's Ann.
well, you know, like I said, I've never dealt with propane before. It's all important to me. I've always dealt with gas, natural gas stuff.
So we'll call
Natural
4
gas ones are
4 or
nice,
5
that's what
people.
we had, and I mean, when the lights was still dimming, that natural gas kicked right up.
We come home from the beach last year, and our generator just sitting there purring along.
I mean, it's nice. It wasn't nice when nobody else had power and we was the only agency working.
Well, when the weather gets bad and everything, I just look out my back door, if it's got a green light on, I'm ready to go, right, Tim? That's what I
He
tell her.
rubs-
She's not gonna
rubs
get
it
my
in.
generator out, I just looked out, mine's got a green light on.
But the natural gas, they are really, I mean, it does make a difference, because, I mean, they pick up immediately, and, I mean, you don't miss anything. I mean, the phone calls, anything, they're,
Unless you have free gas, and I've heard about this happening. This last time around, they'd shut the well in and not told the person.
oh,
That's against the law. Where they didn't have it hooked up right, because you're supposed to burn off wellhead gas, not production gas. Wellhead gas is uninterrupted. They're not even supposed to shut it down when you're swabbing the well or anything, you don't have to as well.
So, with the board's permission, go ahead and call 4 or 5 and get you estimates for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll bring the memorandum of agreement back around as soon as I get a copy of it. In fact, what I'd like to do is bring it to one meeting, let you guys review it and everything, and then come back to the next meeting if there's any changes or anything. Because it'll be a blanket agreement for everybody, so. Well, I'll get down here.
Thank you, Pat. Okay, we'll see you later. All right, the last thing I have that I'd like to do is, I'd like to go on record and thank Perry Ferguson, Chuck from Lewis, Swan, Clint Adams, Barbara Knight, Ashley Gum, and Chris Arnold, and Dr. Newman for their service to this organization, preparation and beginning of it, and to where we're at now. I'd like to go on record, as the commission did also, but just thank them for their time and their efforts to where they've got us at now, and look forward to continue rolling, but just a thanks to them for what they've done to get us to this point, because they've done a great job, and I just go on record of stating that. With that being said, if there ain't no more business, we can take a motion for adjournment.
The 25th of June is the fourth Tuesday of.
Okay.
It's the
Oh, yeah,
25th
they're,
25th of June.
25th of June.
okay. In the bylaws, SOPs, it was pointed out that they had word all new between the second and the fourth Tuesday, but the previous board did see that they need to meet every 2 weeks, so they made it a once-a-month meeting, and it was on the fourth Tuesday. Is that still okay with the present board? Okay, so the next one will be on the 25th.
Now, I think that you ought to give us a call a couple of days ahead of time, at least a couple of days ahead of time, try to be here on time.
I
yeah,
will-
the new board members would propose that we have a call.
Call board.
You be here on time?
Not yet.
Quit talking about me, you make
Randy,
me
now,
look bad.
could we clarify, if there would be something that comes up that has to be a special meeting, we can call a special meeting, according to the bylaws, we have that right.
Right.
And we can even do that if it's just an item of the agenda, we can do that via telephone, as long as all board members are present on that phone,
No.
is that?
No, you can set a meeting up to have a special meeting, but I have to do an agenda and post it so
Okay.
that the public can come to it, but you can set the meeting up anytime you want, and we just set the agenda out because it has to be an open meeting. It's illegal to conduct any business on the phone or the internet as far as business with the organization goes. Am I correct with that, Kate? I'm pretty sure that's the,
You can have it on the phone, but you have to call the meeting to order. The meeting has to be posted, and the public has to be aware of it and be available to listen to what's being said.
I thought we could, just in
It's
case
not
you
just
needed
not,
anything.
it's not just a private conversation.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
yeah.
But you never know when something special is gonna come up.
That's
You
right.
might need us and you might have
Exactly, I
to do
mean,
something like that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, once a month is good, I guess.
okay, so we're going to continue on it, and that's okay with you.
Yeah, because the big stuff's out of the way, the budget and, I mean, the main,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
And, Mr. Robinson, do you wish for me to go ahead and do a director's report at the commission meeting also, or is my report to the board adequate?
I think it's probably a good thing to
Okay, continue.
continue.
Okay, and when would you like me to do that? What time of the month do you want that done? The first meeting?
Well, that probably would the first meeting, because first meeting's the 9 o'clock meeting. That's fine.
I just want to make sure so that we stay on either even Keller,
Right.
so we know what's going on. And it'll be the same report that you all will get but I'll just give it to them, that way it's all accounted for. And the minutes, Barbara said she would get them to me. She sent me a thing through her home computer. So when she does, I'll get that to you all. And then the next meeting, I guess we'll approve those minutes and these minutes. And at that point, we can put them on the website, because what they did in the past was they had never posted them until the board approved them. So that if there's any revisions or changes, they did before you posted them. And also the accounting system. Right now, the sheriff has the checkbook. Do you wish for the treasury to take over that checkbook, or do you wish for the sheriff to keep a hold of it?
Does that have to be handled at a commission meeting? Because wasn't that?
Yeah,
approved at
that's
the
gonna,
commission
that's gonna have to, but, you know, that was just a temporary
Right, it was.
situation, to address
Right.
the problem, so, I'm sure that, well, you know, it'll have to be brought up in a county commission meeting and approved. And you can probably let us know when all the signatures are in place, so that we can, so that you can come back out here.
Yeah, that's not a problem, because as soon as, well, then she's already been approved for treasurer, we can actually put on that, on there, and that's not a problem. We can, if you want, you can leave Mike on there as a backup. He never has to sign another one, but he's there for backup in case something would happen.
That's probably a
And
good
you're
idea.
meeting, he could be there.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have to take him off.
right.
We can just add her to it. And then whoever
Yeah,
else.
because
the
that would
board
give you your 3 people
Yeah.
as recommended.
And that's
But
what-
like I say, it will need to be on the agenda, as soon as you get Chris in place, then we'll have to put that on
When's the next
agenda.
meeting?
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday? Okay, can you be there?
Next week.
Or not now.
Okay. And that's a morning meeting?
I would think maybe we need to consider with official people who could sign checks, it would be the treasurer and the director and the president. And if you want to leave Mike Hefty on there, that's okay, but I would think the president of the
Yeah,
ambulance
I
authority
agree.
should be one of the
I agree.
potential signatures.
But it wasn't passed, so, yeah, I definitely agree.
Because just out of curiosity, if you leave Mike Headley's name on there, do you not have to keep records of everything still going through his office all the time?
No,
No?
no, he would just be a signature if the county commission would decide to dissolve and put everything back in his hands, so everything was paid off, he would be on there to do that, and they could kick everybody else off the account. So he's just a signature name on there. He's not the main accountant for the account.